I'm sorry. There always is. Yeah, it is. You're right. I was actually timing it. It's another minute. Okay, let's see. So good morning. I'm Judge Johnson, and I'll start talking and be repetitive for just a bit because I'm watching people get logged into the meeting, watching the sound connect. But welcome to the Temple Municipal Court. I'm Judge Person. I do recognize that people are muted and that I've muted people so that if we all talk at once, it doesn't work well at all. So I'm just letting everybody kind of know. And I just want to remind folks that if you're driving on the meeting, if I see you driving, I'm going to have to disconnect you. So please do not drive. It's a crime. And also, we don't want to watch a problem. Yeah, I see people motioning to their ears, but there's not really a way for me to fix that for them. But I will send them a message. I'm going to check into, there are some people I was not able to identify, and I'll try to do that. And so I'll just work on getting the communication up and running. The ladies who just connected, it's a Samsung SM-73. Can you? Hi, could you unmute? Can you tell me your name?
Elizabeth Saul.
Okay. Let's see, just a moment. Okay. All right. What I want to tell you is that, do you have more than one thing connected? Is there a phone connected to?
I'm sorry?
You have more than one device connected?
No, we just have one. I live in an apartment and they're working, AT&T is here today redoing everything.
We've got a lot to do. I'm just trying to fix the fact that there's feedback and that usually means more than one device is connected. May not mean that in your case, and I'll work with you the best I can.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to remute you because I've got to talk to a few more people and let some late people in. I do want to ask too, there's a person labeled KTX, and if you can unmute and possibly get on screen and tell me who you are. And I don't know who people are. Yes.
Okay, Your Honor. I'm looking for the button to put me on.
Why don't you tell me your name? That's just going to be.
Good morning. Kay Jarman.
Okay. Thank you very much. Is that G-A or J-A? What is the last name?
Jarmon.
There we go. I found you. Thank you so much. I'm just trying to identify people because, if I pull the file, I can't pull a file on a name that I don't have. So just bear with me because I'm trying to make things go quickly for folks. I know people would rather not be here, and I'll be working with you the best I can. Gentlemen with glasses, Samsung SM-A5, some numbers. I just sent you an unmute request. Great. Can you tell me your name?
Justin Stead.
Thank you, Mr. Stead. I see you now on my list, and I'll make sure I have everything ready. I just changed names for purposes of the meeting. Person who's labeled Big Lex on the screen, can you unmute and tell me your name?
Yes, ma'am. It's Alexis McGill.
Thank you, Ms. McGill. And let's see. Then I have, oh gosh, a person labeled 16198. Can you tell me your name?
Danielle Shipman.
Shipman.
Yes.
Okay. And then I had a person who was labeled Zoom user. Let me find that person. They must have changed their name to whatever it is. Misty Ross. Okay. Let's see. And then I had a phone number. There's a 254 area code on a telephone and the number ending in 157. I'm sending you an unmute request. Can you tell me your name?
This is Noel Patton, sir.
Let's see. Say your name again.
Noel Patton.
Patton. Thank you, Mr. Patton. I do appreciate it. You're on a phone call, and that can actually be a little hard because you don't see the activity happening. So just listen carefully, because at a certain point I'll say your name again, and I'll ask you to unmute again. I'll ask you to unmute again, and then it will be your turn. So we will get to you, and I will not forget. But there is a tendency with the phone that people kind of forget that they're on a meeting and they don't have that visual reminder. So I'm just going to keep you posted, and I'll say your name when it's your turn. Folks, and what you can't see is that we have about 25 people, maybe a little less, on screen, and everyone's here for a meeting today. And what happens is that I will work with each person. And I did watch as people logged in. So I have kind of a running line, if you will, just to kind of keep it normal and fair. But I did want to let everyone to know that, we're just going to work with each person. Now, before we get started, there's really 2 dockets working today, and I want to give you some background. It'll kind of help. So when you're given a ticket or issued a citation, Ms. Jarman, I saw you come back in. You didn't lose your place in line. Just stay on it. If you're having technology problems, it'll be okay. So what I wanted to tell everybody is that when you're given a ticket or issued a citation, those are all methods that we have under the law for accusing someone. That is what a ticket is. It's an accusation. And when you give a plea, you're giving an answer or a response to that accusation. And there are 3 options for pleading: guilty, not guilty, and no contest. If you plead guilty, you're admitting an offense. You're saying, I did this. If you plead no contest, you're not admitting or denying the offense. You're just saying, I'm not contesting it. And effectively, you're saying, I want to move forward with sentencing. So on guilty or no contest, I move forward with sentencing. If you've already entered a plea, we're going to troubleshoot your order because something's wrong, or you had questions. It could be one or the other. And I will work to try to get you back on track, because once a court order is made, you can be held in contempt. And what that looks like in this type of court is that, you get a notice. I work with you the best I can to try to get that order fulfilled. And we'll go from there and see if we can make any adjustments and get you back on track. I will try to work with you on that. If you don't show up, you get a warrant. So, or you don't comply, you can get a warrant. That's really the way that people get warrants in this type of court. You're not normally arrested on a Class C offense. There are just a handful of things where that can happen. I'm not sure that I even have any of those on my docket today. It's not typical. And so, I just want people to be aware that once I'm making a court order, ordering you to do something specific, and it will look kind of like an agreement oftentimes, but nevertheless, I enforce that as an order. And so just be aware that you are agreeing to do things. You need to take them seriously, because the consequence is really either an arrest or more fines, and not fines, but more money gets added to your offense. And I'm really not looking to do that. Okay, so just kind of be aware at the end of the day today, there's a court order. And, some things we want a signature on. If it helps you, I need a signature. Think of it that way. If it's an order, it may or may not help you, but it's coming at you from me. So the way that I'm going to work this is just to work both lines. So on that plea option, like I said, when you're accused, that's comes in the form of a ticket or a summons. And then a plea is your answer to that accusation. And we covered guilty and no contest and what happens there, but not guilty actually shifts gears, because that means that you are asking for trial. You have the right to do that. You have the right to ask that people take the stand, juries, and make a decision as to whether or not you're guilty. But it follows a different process. And part of that process right now is that we have an online meeting. And then the next process is that we, if it's not resolved today, we shift that into the courtroom the next meeting is here in the courtroom and we're doing a scheduling conference at that point. I'm setting a bond. There's just a few things that need to happen before we move into trial. So I'll be directing that, but I kind of like to give people an overview because most of us are here representing ourselves in this kind of court. That's normal. And I just give information. I can't give legal advice. I'm not allowed to apply the law to your case and tell you what you should do, and things of that nature, but I can answer general questions. Okay. But the decisions have to be your decisions. If you have not yet entered a plea and you're seeking to meet with an attorney, in this kind of court, you get a recess of your case and you have the right to hire an attorney of your choice. So that just looks like a reset and we come back on a different day. If you've already entered a plea, that's really effectively waiving that option. So I'm just letting you know how that is because we've got a lot of different folks on the docket. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to tell you is that there's a breakout room for the pretrial docket, and I'm about to start that, but I want to give everybody kind of an overview for how dismissals work here. Newspapers really make things hard, and I guess social media too. I read them and I kind of chuckle because I know that when they say that judges throw out cases, judges sentence cases, they do, but pretty often, and I would say 99% of the time, judges are just ratifying agreements that are made between the parties or they're following guidelines. Judges don't have authority without a hearing with both parties to make a decision and find someone not guilty. That's called a trial. So if you're heading toward trial, a judge could do it, a jury could do it, depending on the type of case and so forth. But what I'm really trying to highlight is the dismissal options I have. I'm going to tell you what they are. You won't have to wonder. And let me just describe them. So if you plead guilty or no contest, I move towards punishment, sentencing. And at that point, the general rule is that you're found guilty, it goes on your record, you pay the fines and costs. Now let me back up into that. Payment of fines and costs, I do look at income information. I also look at it on the not guilty docket in connection with setting a bond. So I ask everybody to fill that information out because I can't really make a very good decision if I don't have it. And I have limits to what I'm going to order if I don't have that information. So it's really it's for your benefit that I have that information, and you need to consider that information to be under oath to the best of your ability. Now, and I can make adjustments if I have reality information in front of me. I can't make adjustments if I don't know. So that's the reason we ask that. Then on being found guilty, there's still 4 ways to gain a dismissal. Let me just describe them quickly and tell you how they work, and then we're going to get going. Because once again, I know nobody woke up today thinking, yay, I have court. You know, I'm very aware that people don't want to be here, but yet we must do this work at this point because we're where the law says we need to be. So dismissal options. I'm going to list them and then I'm going to tell you how they work. Compliance dismissals, driver safety course options, deferred dispositions, and team court. So compliance dismissals are things that can be brought up to date and dismissed. Okay. I'm going to tell you if you have something like that because the law says the judge shall. And that to me is a marching order to look for those things. But you can ask me about that if you want to. I'm not going to get upset when people ask questions. There's a simple fact of yes, I can answer it. No, I can't. And I'll tell you. And if I can't answer it, it's because it's legal advice and I'm not allowed to do it. And I'll just explain. So don't be nervous about your questions. Okay. Because if you leave and you didn't ask them, you're going to need to ask them. And then getting back into a meeting, it's not so easy or, it's not so fun really. Okay. So, ask your questions, but I'll be looking for that one. Okay. The second one is a driver safety course option, and that's for moving violations. Certain drivers can be in that program. Some drivers cannot. And again, I'll be sort of triaging to see if you're eligible. You have to meet the eligibility to be in the program, and then you have to finish the program properly. So, you're going to need to pay attention to detail. We will put everything in writing and give you the tools needed to successfully accomplish it. And then you have to do it. On that one, though, I want to talk a little bit about money, which is not anyone's favorite topic. But here's how costs and fines work in a court like this one. So if you call the clerk and you say, how much is my ticket? And some of you might have done that. and they give you like a number, boom, 257. Let's just say that number right now. Let's say that's a moving violation. It's $257. Wow, that seems like a lot. Yes, I know. I've been doing this a long time and I've watched it change. What I will tell you about that number is it actually represents a lot of different things that can be broken down into categories. But the most important category for purposes of our discussion is there's fines and there are costs. So fines are set by the judge of the court. That's me. And costs are set by the Texas legislature. And they're about to start meeting. In fact, they've kicked off the meeting, I think. So, because now I'm seeing the flurry of those things because I watch it. So the costs, they're set by the legislature. What I'm telling you is I can't change those, okay? These I have some control over, and I can look at those in connection with income, and I do that automatically, okay? But on the costs, in the driving safety course option, you do have to pay the cost. The fine goes on hold, okay? If you turn in your driving record, the proper one, and your driving course, the proper one, and we'll put that in writing on time, you get your case dismissed. You no longer have a moving violation. It's not on your record, and the fine gets waived. So you save money. Now you do pay for your court costs, you pay for your record, and you pay for your course. That said, it is still cheaper to do that than to pay the whole ticket, and that is by design. And the reason that it's designed that way is because I firmly understand there is a correlation between better driving and doing the course. There is a correlation between ticket issuance and more risky driving. Texas is the #1 state for accidents. And if you're 25 or under and you have a ticket, you're in the super group of death and dismemberment in America, literally. So, and that's not a #1 we're proud of, but it is a #1 that I take seriously. So just be aware that there are reasons for the things that the judge is doing, but there's also reasons for the law, truly. Sometimes we can't see it, but generally speaking, I'm going to say that's a pretty correct statement, especially in a Class C court. It tends to make some logic once you understand what's going on. On the driving safety course option, what you can expect from me is that I'm looking to see if you're eligible and talking to you about it, but ask me if you have questions, okay? Because remember, it's not my case, it's your case, okay? So that's 2. The third dismissal option is what is called a deferred disposition. And it's just what the word is. Deferred means to delay, right? Put off. Disposition, to make it final. I put off making your case final. I put an order in place. The order will control the dismissal process, and it will tell you the things that you need to do in order to gain a dismissal. Now, a couple things. Deferrals work differently. You must ask for a deferral. The judge doesn't ask you if you want one. The prosecutor can ask if you want one and bring an agreement to the judge, but always the judge has to agree and approve that step. And I have the right to say, no, I'm not granting that. I generally will tell you when I say no, why. Okay. I'm not going to debate my rulings. I won't do that, but I will tell you briefly what's going on, because I'm pretty transparent about stuff. I don't mind. I'm not concerned at all with the job that I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. So 20 years, I'm pretty well known, and I do ask myself those questions regularly. So deferred is how you request, and that looks like guilty or no contest. I'd like a deferred. That was on the form that we gave you to fill out, but that's a long explanation because it's not actually a simple concept in a certain way. And so I'm letting you know, because if you miss that step and you haven't been sentenced yet, you need to speak up. Otherwise, I assume you don't want that. Okay. That's yours to ask for. Deferral, please. That's simple. Okay. But in higher level courts, you must go first to the prosecutor. And in this court, there's a couple of ways, couple of points. At the pretrial, if you're not guilty pleading and you want to come to an agreement, at the bench level, if I'm just directly sentencing you. Those are the 2 points where you can request. I don't have to approve it. The prosecutor doesn't have to agree. The prosecutor does not work for me. The prosecutor works for the city. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. But the final thing about dismissals is teen court, which is for students in high school, middle school. Homeschooled sometimes qualifies, and GED programs often do qualify. but you have to be actively enrolled and able to prove it. Okay. So that one looks like a deferred, except it's different because young people are taking on the burden of dealing with their case. And I have better results in terms of recurrence on teen court than any other program we have. People who successfully complete it, I generally don't read about them in the paper or see them again. So I push it. Now, the prosecutor is Ryan Matson. Mr. Matson is the city attorney's employee, not my employee. He works for a different branch of government. I, in other words, don't control Mr. Matson, although he does appear regularly in my court and we have rules of court and he follows them. But I do not discuss cases with him prior. So be aware that he has a different duty here. Mr. Matson, can you unmute and just explain or just give your name, and that way you'll pop up on screen. People can see you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ryan Matson. I'm the prosecutor for Temple.
Thank you, sir. So I'm going to move you forward, Mr. Matson, with you have a full docket today. Everybody turned up. That's great news. But let's get you started. Travis Schrader, can you unmute and let us know that you're, or Schrader, I don't know, it might be Schrader or Schrader. Can you tell me the best way to say it?
Trady.
Grady, thank you, Mr. Trady. I'm going to move you over to a meeting with the prosecutor. I'm not part of that conversation because you pleaded not guilty. It's actually a rule of court that I not listen in on fact discussions at this time any more than I would talk to a police officer or officer who wrote your citation. So I stay out of it for right now, and you folks will have a discussion. Then you'll come back into this meeting at the end, and I'll have a few parting words and we'll kind of set the stage for what's going to happen next after y'all have a discussion. So I'm moving you over, and Mr. Matson, I'm sending you that move as well, and we'll leave them to it. I too will work with everyone, and we'll just toggle back and forth. Just a quick question. Noelle Mundo, are you here? Because I didn't see you. And John Vera, are you here? Everyone else, I've got you down. Okay, so I'm moving forward then with Jeremiah Leba. And if you could unmute and tell me how you're doing while I pull your file, that would be great. How are you?
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing all right.
It's good. It's good. Let me get your file pulled up and see where we are. Just 1 minute. I've got things sticking together. Okay. So this is actually an interesting case for me. It's a theft charge. It has costs and fines of $296 if you paid it. What I want to tell you is that, and I did get your note, what I'll tell you is that, okay, so I can do a deferral. You did request it, but actually he has not had a call. You've not had a case like this before. And we have a local program that I have carved out with our prosecutor. I thought this is falling under the category of compliance, even though that might feel really intuitive just yet. But the way that this would work, if you want to do it, is that you can reset your case for 30 to 45 days. You're going to be required, though, to take a theft intervention class online is appropriate. The library can do that. The problem is you are going to have to pay for that class. It's not super expensive, but nevertheless, money's tight for everybody. I think what's our least worrisome one in terms of the money? It's going to get you a price quote. Sorry?
I got you.
Really? That's the cheapest. Okay, there's a $50 course that you would take. And if you take it and get it turned in on time, meaning your next court, that's critical. You've got to stay on time. I'm allowed then to just dismiss the charge. It doesn't go on your record and you don't pay the fines and costs.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's humbling.
Yeah. Yeah. And I read your note. I understand what happened. I'm not condoning it, but I do understand that decisions aren't the best at that point. Okay. Is it possible to reschedule you for 30 days? Realistically, have you pay for it and take a class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to need your signature on this. Are you in the Temple area?
Yes, mine's parked right now. Just
Okay.
can't.
Okay. February 28th is your reset date. I need you to swing by the court today, sign for that date, and pick up your packet for how to find a class. What time can I look for you to be here?
Within the next hour or possibly right now. Doesn't
Okay.
really matter.
That's fine. We're actually ready for you already.
Okay.
So make your way safely over and just come into the court. You know where we are. We're where you came before. And
Yeah.
to the window, anyone can help you. Everything will be ready out there. And what will happen is you'll just approach them, tell them your name, let them know you're here to sign your paperwork. And then what we'll do is see you next time. But if you turn it in early, I might be able to go ahead and sign the dismissal before next time. So the sooner the better, but don't miss the court date. Okay.
Okay. I can definitely get it in.
Even if you're not ready, sign in and talk to me. Okay.
I really do appreciate it, by the way. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You know what?
Um,
This is one of those things, like it's a life-changing event. And I saw that you were going to school. What are you working on trying to carve out for yourself?
I'm just trying to get my associates in arts in English. and,
Okay. Well, this is the kind of thing that can prevent gainful employment at a later date. So just, be aware. Okay.
I really do appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Come on by. Okay. I wish you
got
the
you.
best.
Be there
I
in a
look-
bit.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
May God bless you.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that greatly. Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Okay, I will say this name incorrectly, but I'm going to try. Gurjinder Bath. Can you say your name for me and help me?
Morning, Judge Person. My name is Gurjinder Bhatt.
Thank you. So, sir, this is a crossing a physical barrier, and we had set up a driving safety course option for you, and your license was expired. So we just need to sort that out.
Yes, so Judge Person,
Yes.
so I'm on an immigration visa. So I have already requested DPS. So they are checking with USCIS, and for some reason it's taking longer to verify. That's why I'm not getting the driving license. I can, if you allow, I can show you the document that I have. It's my.
I'm going to take your word for it and believe you.
Sure. So yeah, so I was gonna request if it's possible to give me 3 weeks to submit my driving license, and then
Yes.
I can take the safety course.
Yeah, I can work with you on that, Mr. Bath. Let me ask you a question. Do you have some sense, and I'm definitely hearing your frustration. Do you have some sense of when that can happen for you?
They are saying 20 business days, but it's
How
taking
long?
long. 20 business days.
Oh, okay. Well, that's always double speak because you got to start calculating what that means. If I gave you 30 days from today, does that feel like that could be enough time?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. So I'm going to extend you 30 days, and that's going to be to the 28th of next month. And that's to sign up for driving safety. And I mean, I will tell you that if you want to shift to a deferral today and just pay the balance and not get any more tickets during this time, I could shift to a deferral. You wouldn't save as much money, but you would not have the course or the record to get. And I think that we could do that, the type of offense, if that's your request today. You would
So,
have to tell me.
Judge Person, will it add any points to my record because I'm on an immigration status? I want to keep my record clean.
Right. No, a deferral keeps the item from being a conviction on your record. You're not a CDL holder, correct?
No.
Okay. It's another option that gets you to the same result, which is a dismissal. Therefore, it's not point generating because there's a dismissal. It's just you're doing it a different way.
Okay, so how much I have to pay for that?
Your balance is 130 and you would just pay the balance. We don't add fees to it. I would grant it if that's your request. You would swing by the court probably today to sign the document. The document will say, pay your balance, which is maybe today. Don't get any more citations during this time. Don't get arrested or fail to come to court if you get set for a court hearing. Keep your address current. If you do those things, you get a dismissal. And it's till May 30th.
Okay, there will be no points on my records, right?
Correct.
Yes, I can do that in that case.
Okay. So we'll change to a deferral. That's what you're asking.
Yes.
I'll accept it and grant it. Can you pay your balance today of 130?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm making notes. And so I'll have a clerk prepare that paperwork for you. There's two ways to go about it. If you swing by, you could pay it and sign it and get a copy. If you want us to email it to you and print it and sign it and get it back to us today, plus go online or call in and make your payment. Which, do you want to go online and deal with this, or do you want
I think
to?
I can come in person.
Okay, what time?
1:30 would work.
Perfect. We'll have everything at the front desk for you, and they'll be looking for you around that time. And just come in, they'll have a document for you to sign, you'll get a copy, they'll give you a receipt. And then it's really just drive properly for the next, 4 months, and then the case is dismissed.
Sure, I will do my best. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll see you soon. Well, he's paying. Okay. All right, Mr. Matson, I see you back with Mr. Shradi. Let me get the file, and if you can explain what's going on, Mr. Matson, that would be great.
Your Honor, Mr. Strady will be placed on deferral.
Okay,
This is going to be slightly different than the standard terms.
okay,
It'll be the 120-day period. And his fine is going to be maxed to 200 in place of doing driver safety course.
I don't know if that I can do that. Is it not a requirement?
I'm sorry.
I'm not sure I can. I think it's mandatory if you're under 25 and under to do a course.
That is true. The hang up
is he-
then is
Yes,
if he did defensive driving within the last 6 months, does that disqualify him from the driver safety course?
it does, but it doesn't disqualify him from a deferral.
Okay.
So there's two things that are a possibility. One is to do a discretionary driver safety course. He pays the fines and costs in full, gets the course and the record turned in. A deferral gives you 120 days good behavior, basically, payment of fines and costs, whatever that agreement is. The course due, no record, and good behavior. So that's really the difference. When you're, sorry, Mr. Schrader, but unfortunately, or Schrady, sorry, I have German in my background. What happens there is that the agreement y'all are coming to, I'm not allowed to follow that one because the law specifies, simply because the statistic is so very real, that folks 25 and under are where the choke point is of, damage and injury. So what happens is that it's mandated that you take a course. So do y'all want a few more minutes to talk about this?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, let me, I think y'all just have to click and move back over. I'm not able to resend. Y'all just have to do it. There should be a button if you move your cursor around on the screen, Mr. Schrader. Do you see it? To move you back over to that meeting? Yeah, bump yourself back over, and Mr. Matson will do the same. Okay, I'll see y'all in a little bit.
So, Judge, just to clarify, the DSC is discretionary, and if he chooses that option, that
You
won't.
have to
him
pay
doing
the
defensive
fine.
Driving won't prevent him from doing that.
Correct.
Okay.
I have the option to grant a second driving safety course option under my discretion. However, they have to pay the fines and costs instead of just the costs. That's
Gotcha.
the only difference. I have to approve it, and it can be maxed out. The fine can go up, but I don't waive the fine.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. prosecutor rarely has that one, so he probably doesn't utilize it very much. Okay, so moving forward, Jelani, excuse me, Wallace, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you today?
I'm fine. And you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Are you able to get on screen?
Not right now.
So how old are you today?
I'm 17.
Okay, and what is your middle name?
Amir.
Spell it, please.
AMIR.
Okay. And this is a no driver's license charge. The
Yes,
fines
ma'am.
and costs are $181. It's from December 29th. And I do see your explanation. And while I can appreciate it, having been through something very similar myself, I'm just not able to, excuse a ticket because the law doesn't provide that we have a reason to drive without a license.
Yes, ma'am.
A couple of questions. Do you have a license now?
No, ma'am.
Where are you in the process of getting one, or are you?
I know I have an appointment on March 23rd, but as I was in that moment, I had to drive in that moment. So
Right. I'm just telling you that the law doesn't give you that reason. Excuse.
right.
Do we have availability on teen court for the 15th? Yeah, I can do teen court. You're gonna have to come in. Where do you go to school? Temple High?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we do teen court at Temple High School. And you'll need to come by today in order to sign up for it and meet with a case manager. It won't take very long, about 15 minutes. There's a
Yes, ma'am.
$20 fee, and you'll have to pay that fee today. And then you'll also need to come on in, sign paperwork today. Then on the 15th of February, you'll appear at your sentencing hearing for teen court. So that's the option for teen court. There's a $20 fee and a process to go through whereby you show up for a hearing and get sentenced by a teen group, and then you work out your sentence. Generally, it's a lot less money and you gain a dismissal. Do you want to do that?
That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, the other option is paying your ticket. Can you pay the $20 fee today?
Yeah.
Can you pay? Okay. And when can you be here to meet with a case manager?
Probably around 4, 5.
5 won't work. 4 will work.
4.
Yes. 4 o'clock. You have an appointment.
And where is it at?
Okay. So you know where you came before and we took your picture and you filled out your paperwork?
Yes, ma'am.
Right there.
All right.
We'll see you then. Okay.
Oh, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So can y'all hook me up with some driving classes to get my permit?
We might have some information about that. You can ask the case manager.
Okay.
And so I don't know. I mean, you originally told me you had an appointment to get it, and now you're telling me you need help figuring out how to get it. So definitely,
No, can you help me set up classes to get it?
yeah, I know that's the question. But earlier when I said, "Are you getting a license?" you said you were getting one on March 23rd. So
Right.
you need to talk to a case manager. They might be.
All right.
I can't do that in this meeting. That's a whole lot of things I'm not allowed to do in that. Ask a case manager. They might be able to point you in the right direction. Okay.
So,
Okay. We'll see you then. Okay.
all right.
Thank you. See you at 4. Mr. Matson, I know that y'all were talking again. Where are we now? Yes.
Your Honor, we will be moving forward with standard deferral terms. The
Okay.
120-day period with a driver safety course by day 60. And then I think Mr. Schrady is going to pay the fine in installments And I told him that I would let you decide those dates because you like to pick days that you are in court.
Okay. But, okay, I'm gonna move you forward. I'm gonna move you forward, Mr. Matson, to your next person, Giovanni Terencio, excuse me. Sir, can you unmute? I'm sorry,
I'm
ma'am.
here.
Ma'am, I apologize, ma'am.
It's okay.
Okay, I'll do better. Let me move you over to that meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
It's my turn.
She's talking to you.
Mhm.
Okay, Mr. Matson, that's happened. Okay, Travis, let me look at your income information. You're a full-time student.
Yes, ma'am.
Have a way to pay this?
I do. Well, my parents kind of help me out with my rent and my food.
Okay,
I do jobs to earn a little bit of cash for fun things or anything I
Okay.
want to do, or pay my court cost or tickets and stuff like that. But I do, but it's very limited to how much I can really get per week.
sure. So I can break this into 3 payments. If I do that, we would look probably, they would be $85.
Mhm.
And I think it goes, hold on. So it would go 85, 85, and then 84. And
Mhm.
I'm gonna basically let you name your dates. So when could you make your first payment?
The first one could be made on the 1st.
Okay, of February?
Yes, ma'am. I
Okay.
I can do 1st, 15, and then 1st again.
Okay, that's easy.
Yeah.
I'll just put that in motion because that just puts it, it becomes quite easy.
Yes, ma'am.
So it'll be 2/1, 2/15, and 3/1 for those payments. Will that work for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I do need a signature and I need to give you information for how to find a class. When can you come by the court today?
Temple?
Oh, you're in Waco. I can
Yes.
email it. I can email it to you if you can print it, sign it, and email it back.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And can we use the email that we used to set up this meeting?
Could you repeat the email for me?
Hold on. It's the one where you got the link, but that you clicked on this morning. But give me a second. Travis, TravissChrade@gmail.com.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll email it there. You should have it in your inbox sometime this morning. We need to get it back today. We'll also include income payment information and class information
Mhm.
so that you can know how to do those things as well. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Do you have any questions?
No,
Then thank you for your time. You are good to go.
thank you.
Thank you. Letting Miss Ross back in, having difficulty with her connection. So I am moving forward then with, let's see, Justin Steed or Stead, excuse me. How are you? Just unmute. Let me hit you with that unmute request.
There we go.
How are you?
Been better.
Okay. There's a no insurance charge from December 2nd. The funds and
Yes, ma'am.
costs are $281. I am showing that while you have requested a payment plan, the more appropriate approach is for me to order community service instead of payment. If we did that, that would turn into 14 hours of community service. And it would be due, well, I would normally give you a month, but if you know you're going to need more time, we can talk about that. What do you say? What's happening for you?
I work 7 days a week, so I don't know when I would be able to fit community service in.
Okay. I can do low payments of $25 a month. And then if you find that you can make more payment, you would just get done with it faster.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When can you make a first payment today?
I can make a first payment Friday.
Friday. Okay. Friday is going to be tomorrow. So that's the 27th.
Yeah. Yes.
And but I do need your signature today. I can
Yes,
collect
ma'am.
it. I can collect it one of two ways. I can email it to you if you can print it, sign it, email it back, or you can swing by the court and sign it today.
I can swing by.
And so they'll print it all out for you. It's kind of helpful because they print out just like a to-do list with dates, and you can check them off as you go.
Okay.
Okay. So just swing on by. What time should we look for you? Did you say?
Around 3:30, 4 o'clock.
That'll work. We'll look for you around then, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Any clerk can help you right back where we are, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Steve. Jed.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Mr. Matson, I know you were working with Ms. Terracino. Let me get that file pulled up. Yeah, and I've got her moved back over. Ms. Terracino, welcome back to this meeting, and I'm just going to ask Mr. Matson to give me an update.
Your Honor, we're going to go ahead and set for final pretrial, but I do anticipate this case being resolved prior to that date.
Okay, so Ms. Terracino, I don't get involved with the case at this time if y'all have some kind of approach that you're taking. What I will tell you is that if the case is still pending, that means it will stay on that docket until it's no longer pending. So you can call the morning of and just make sure that it's off if you're thinking that it's off. If it's not off yet, assume that there's some issue and that you need to stop by at 2 o'clock on March 8th to check in to see where we are, okay?
Okay, thank you, Judge.
So we'll either deal with it before then or see you then, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Do you have any questions?
Nope, I am free to go.
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Mr. Matson, I'm going to advance you forward. Let me just get caught up with you. So Derek Sullivan is your next person. Derek Sullivan, can you unmute so that we know that your audio is working?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm going to move you over to that meeting with the prosecutor. Folks, give me just a moment. I'll be caught up. Okay, so moving forward, Misty Ross, I know you had some trouble with your connection. Glad to see you back. How are you doing?
I guess I'm all right.
Okay, let me get your case pulled up. There's a few things going on, and I'm going to do this in pieces, okay?
Okay.
So just kind of, I will walk through this and just kind of give you a sense of where we're going. So I have lots of cases pending. I did get your message about your cases and what can be done about it. I do think you're on the right track in terms of cleaning up. I do think that you need to make sure, if you have not yet done so, that you want to check in with code enforcement.
Okay.
And make sure that what they think that it needs to look like and what you think it needs to look like become the same thing.
Okay.
That's the way. So as far as what we're doing here, you know, I'm looking at income. And in your case, I'm looking at, you know, ordering community service, talking to you about how you would go about that if we're moving forward with sentencing. There's a couple of things. There's a minor vehicle servicing kind of claim that happened allegedly on let's see, hold on, let me see if I've got the right one pulled up. Give me a second. There's quite a bit going on in your file.
Yeah.
So give me a
And I
minute.
never knew about them. I never knew about them. I never got any thing. I was just like, what?
Well, they use the address that is provided by the county for the property for tax purposes. So if there's a problem with your mail, you need to check with the tax authority and you need to check with the post office. I need to move on ahead with them now, though, where they are at. Let me just go forward for a minute. There's a prohibited home use charge that has fines and costs if you were paying them of $2,000 and $2,076. This is an allegation date for October 20th. And I did receive a plea of no contest. Is that your plea at this time?
Yeah, I'm not going to fight anything. There ain't no sense in it.
Okay, so no contest was your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The next one is a motor vehicle servicing charge that has fines and costs again of $2,076. It's the same allegation date, October 20th. And I did receive a plea of no contest to that charge. Is that your plea at this time?
Correct.
Okay. Then there is a charge called rubbish and it has fines and costs of $2,106. The case went to warrant, but it is the October 20th charge and for rubbish and the fines and costs. I'm sorry, I did receive a no contest plea. Is that your plea at this time?
Correct.
Okay. Just one moment. Can you pull one of those up? The rubbish.
I can't hear anything. I don't know what's
Yeah, I'm
going on.
talking to a clerk and sometimes that I trail off because I'm
okay.
Someone over here. Okay, then there's an outside storage charge. Fines and costs are $21.26. And I did receive a no contest plea. Is that your plea at this time?
Correct.
Okay. Then I guess they went back out to the property November 17th and checked, and they wrote another citation for prohibited home use. The fines and costs are $20.76, and I did receive a plea of no contest. Is that your plea at this time?
Correct.
Okay. The rubbish charge that you're getting, and there's repeat ones, that has to do with wood, tree limbs, brush, household items, household trash, fence panels, wooden spindles, broken door, and a metal pole with a cement bag. So just so you know, and you're welcome to swing by the court and get a copy of that if that will help.
I'm just trying to figure out what it's talking about.
Well,
I mean,
it's a property that has your name on it on the county rolls, and it's 915 South 45th Street.
Correct. I'm just trying to figure out where they figure out broken doors. I mean, we've had stuff on the curb.
Well, it comes and goes. I mean, that was a couple of months ago. I don't know,
Yeah, because I know we're trying to fix this house up and we put everything on the curb for bulk pickup. But
yeah, I don't think they're going to write you for stuff on the curb. I've literally in 20 years seen them do that 0 times.
I know, I'm just trying to understand where they're trying to come up where they say broken door.
Well, why don't you meet with them? Why don't you meet with them?
Okay.
Yeah. Because they send multiple letters to the address that the county provides. And we are sending it to that address. There is one for outside storage from November 17th. The fines and costs are $576. I did receive a plea of no contest. Is that your plea at this time?
Correct.
Then there is a minor vehicle servicing business that's prohibited. The fines and costs are $20.76. I did receive a plea of no, there was a plea was not yet entered. What is your plea?
Oh, I thought I put no contest. I'm sorry.
It just got overlooked, and so I'm verifying that that's your plea at this time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then a rubbish charge that was filed dating from November 17th. The fines and costs are $576. And I did receive a plea of no contest. Is that your plea at this time?
Correct.
Okay. I'm also showing that you have zero income, zero money to make ends meet. Is that the
Correct.
case?
Correct. I mean, I'm starting to drive for favor, but I tried to cash out yesterday and I still ain't got my money yet. So I don't know what's going on with it.
Okay. That turns into 685 hours of community service.
Oh, cow. Okay.
Yeah, that's actually giving you triple credit up front
Okay.
and recalling your warrants today,
Okay.
not proceeding with a hold on, license and adding fees, but just putting a stop to that, moving forward with sentencing. I would start with 60 days, and I'd like to see what you can do with that time frame. And
Okay.
then you're going to need to get get lined up with going and regularly contributing time. I've got a list of places to choose from.
Okay.
And
I can
then-
come by today and get it.
Great. Yeah, that was going to be my question. And then on your due date, which will be at the top of your paperwork, you'll have, to either just turn in everything you've done, tell me much longer you think you might need, and I'll do my best to keep working with you as long as you stay in communication about it. Your due date will be at the top with your number of hours. You'll also have a list of places where you can choose to do the work. You have to set it up. We don't set it up because I'm not going to manage your time for you.
Right.
And then the other thing I'm going to tell you is that what you'll need to pay attention to is there will be a list of rules to follow in order to make sure that you don't trip up and not get credit for time that you spend doing the work. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So what time should we look for you today?
Probably be about between 3 and 4. It might be before that, but I'm just saying that on the safe side.
Okay, that's fine. We'll have everything ready for you by then. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're good to go. Okay, Mr. Matson, I'm going to move Mr. Sullivan back over, and we'll wait for that to happen. Because, well, I'm literally done with my docket. Okay. All right, Mr. Matson, Mr. Sullivan, where are we at this time on the matter of a speeding charge?
Your Honor, Mr. Sullivan will have his fine reduced. It is currently set at 125 and it will be reduced to 50, which should bring the total cost to 184.
We can do that on your oral motion here so that it's not delayed. Mr. Sullivan, is that your agreement at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
And so you're pleading no contest, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And then that's becoming a conviction with a reduced fine. Can you pay that today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You can swing by the court, pay it and get a receipt, or you can pay online or by phone. Which is going to work best for you?
Do I have to sign anything to agree to this? Okay. I can swing by and pay it. That's fine.
Okay. All right. What time should we look for you?
I can be there in 15, 20 minutes.
Okay, let's say 10:30 or so.
Okay.
We'll see you then. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
We'll have that reduction by the time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Matson, I'm moving you forward. And the next person that you have is actually Crystal Summy. Crystal Summy, let me find you. There you are. Can you unmute and tell me how you're doing?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I'm going to move you over to that meeting with the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a quick shout out. Noelle Mindo, are you here? Let's see, we've got warrants. I'll see what I can do. Okay. No hailing window. I've got a no insurance charge. I've got a, let's see. Hold on. I think we printed insurance plea form out twice. I didn't get one on the Delta display. If we can look and see if we have a plea. I think it just got. Yes. I don't need to print it. I just need to look at it. Sure thing. Okay. Okay, there's an order on each one. You bet. Um, excuse me. Mr. Matson, I'll be right with you. Okay. On the semi case, where are we?
Your Honor, we will be continuing to final pretrial.
Okay. Ms. Semi, we'll see you here. We sent that on your notices already, but I'll just remind you, March 8th at 2 is the time that we're expecting to all be here for that case. That is not a trial, it's a final setting. We'll be getting ready to head toward trial. There are steps we need to take at that point, okay?
Okay.
All right, so expect to be here maybe an hour, give or take, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We'll see you then.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Ms. Semi. Okay. You're good to go. Mr. Matson, I'm moving you forward then with Noel Patton. He is on the phone. Mr. Patton, can you hear me? Can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Okay, great. So what happens next is that I'm going to literally move you into a different space where I won't hear you. As the judge, it's not proper for me to, but you'll be talking to Mr. Matson, who's the city prosecutor. And after that meeting, he'll instruct you. You'll probably have to hang up and dial back in for us to proceed because the technology won't let me move you back to this meeting. On phones, it'll only move you forward. So you hang up and
Okay.
dial back in. But with that minor adjustment, I'm going to move you over to that meeting, okay?
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, this is on John Deere. I know, I probably have them down here. But, thank you so much. What is this? Okay. I'm just gonna sign a few things. And I'm gonna go get papers. Oh. Okay. And y'all are just gonna see me work and get papers done. I'm listening, but my docket's done, so. Really like that we're gonna meet more frequently on that other meeting. I mean, I enjoy the time together. However, it's a lot to digest. I mean, I went home with my head spinning. So. Can you see which ones are yours? There's some different ones. I think a lot of them are yours. That's why I'm asking. I'm happy to put them in your box. But I'm gonna run over there with the thing, grab papers. Folks, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna grab some paperwork. Okay. Okay, Mr. Matson and Mr. Patton. Let me get Mr. Matson back in. Hold on just a moment. Mr. Patton will be right with you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just waiting for the prosecutor to move back over to this meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Matson, can I hear from you where we are? Mr. Patton is back in the meeting.
Your Honor, we are going to continue to final pretrial, but there is a chance that this case will be resolved prior to that date.
Okay, well, I'm always hopeful that folks can sort it out, but if not, we have a trial process. So, Mr. Patton, if your case
Yes, ma'am.
is not fully resolved by the next court date, you're going to be in the courtroom then, so we can all connect and see what's going on with it. Potentially
Yes,
scheduling a trial at that point, and that's going to be for March 8th at 3:00. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, sir. You're good to go.
Thank you. Thank
Take
you.
your time. Yes, sir. And Mr. Matson, I'm going to move you forward with Elizabeth Saul. Ms. Saul, can you unmute?
Here we go. Yes, Pam.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to move you over to a meeting with the prosecutor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Assistant. Good talk. That I'm getting feedback. So I don't know. I never. Mhm. Was that the same thing? Yeah. Sorry, it's in my brain, it's implied since there's no other way to do that, but I don't mind snapping it. Not one bit. Okay, Mr. Matson, with regard to the Saul case, where are we?
Your Honor, Miss Saul did show me a valid placard. She's going to bring that by the court sometime today to have it scanned into her jacket. Once that's been received, I'll be filing a motion to dismiss.
Okay, Ms. Saul, just know that as soon as you bring that over, we will scan it into the file. Mr. Matson will review it. And then if he sends me a dismissal, I will sign it. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Just bring it to any clerk. What time should we look for you?
Next hour. And within the next hour, please.
Of course, that's fine. We'll see you by noon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I can leave you.
You can hang up. Yes, you can leave.
Thank you.
Mr. Matson, I'm moving you forward with Kay Jarman. Kay Jarman, are you still in the meeting? I think you had to log in and out. There we go. There you go. Can you unmute?
There we are. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, it's okay. Your audio is working now. I'm going to move you on over to that meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I hear the sound of people waiting on me. Okay. I don't know why, but strange. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Matson, Ms. Jarman is back in the room. Where are we with regard to this matter?
Your Honor, I will be reducing the fine on this ticket. Right now it's set at 500 and I will be reducing it to 250.
Okay.
And then once that has been entered, I will be placing Ms. Jarman on deferral.
Okay.
And that'll just be the 90-day period. And because this is not a moving violation, I will not be requiring a driver safety course.
Okay. What's our total on the fine?
The fine amount at 250 and then the court costs are 19. So that should put the total at 269.
Okay. And is that getting paid today?
I can pay it today. Yes, ma'am.
That's where I approve that 90-day deferral. I don't have to track it as long. So it does shorten your deferral as he suggested. So I sort of thought that might be
Okay.
why I asked. Okay, let me get your, yes, ma'am. Let me get your deferral order ready. Hold on just a moment. Stay right there because I'm not leaving, I'm not leaving you. But Alexis McGill, are you able to unmute and get on screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. It's your turn. I'm going to move you over to the prosecutor's meeting. Does your video work?
No, ma'am, I have tried to change it, but it hasn't let me.
Okay. We'll work with you. It's just a little easier when we get visual connection, but I'll be going over to that meeting. Okay. So Ms. Jarman, first let me get that reduction done and then we'll work on your deferred order. Hang on just a moment, okay?
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
The reduction's done. And the deferral. Okay, we're going to get that sent over to your email. If you can sign it, print it and sign it and send it back, you're done with the record part. And then you can call a clerk and make payment or pay online. The other option is to come by the court, but I know you're not in town. So what would be best for you?
Oh, it's no problem. About a day.
Okay, what time should we look for you?
Say 2 o'clock.
Okay, we'll just say you'll be here by that time.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You'll get a copy of everything and a receipt, okay?
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, I'm just grabbing paper. Thank you. Still trying to get that movement to happen. Okay. Mr. Matson, where are we on the Alexis McGill case?
Your Honor, Ms. McGill will be placed on deferral, and that will be the standard 120-day period with a driver safety course due by the 60th day.
And payment is when?
Payment in full within 30 days, unless Ms. McGill, you need to extend that and do a payment plan through the period.
Ms. McGill? Can we
Yes,
hear from
ma'am.
you? Hi, yes. Okay, so the deferral is a dismissal option. The way that it is coming to me is that y'all have agreed that it runs from today until May 30th with a driver safety course due by March 28th and with the payment of the balance due by February 28th. Will that work for you?
Yes, ma'am, it will.
Okay, if I email this document to you, I need a signature on it today. Can you print it, sign it, and email it back to us?
Yes, ma'am. Can I just go somewhere to print it out and sign it?
You can come to the court and we can print it out and sign it for you. Want to come here?
Yes, ma'am, I can do that.
Okay, what time should we look for you today?
I would say in the next 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, that's about 11 o'clock, okay?
Okay.
We'll see you then.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Matson, I'm moving you over to the meeting with Ms. Shipman. Ms. Shipman, mute, that would be great.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Just moving you into that meeting.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. What? Yeah. Wow. Okay. It's kind of like when you're trying to find them, yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Totally. It's so surprising. It's like the one thing we expect is that to be different. And it's not at all. Okay, Mr. Matson, I'll be right with you. Trying to get that movement to happen. I'm trying. Was her technology giving her trouble in the meeting?
Not that I could tell. There we go.
There we go. Okay, Ms. Shipman. Finally got you back over. It's all good. Okay, so Mr. Matson, if I can hear from you, where are we on?
Your Honor, Ms. Shipman will be placed on deferral.
Okay.
And it will be the 120-day period with driver safety course due by day 60, and she can pay the fine within 30 days.
Okay, so ma'am, just to recap, that deferral is basically like a good behavior, keep your address current thing until May 30th, with the driving safety course due March 28th, and payment of fines and costs due 2/28. I need that in writing, so I will send a document or in the alternative. But I need it printed and signed today. Which would work better for you?
I told him I would come in.
Okay. What time works for you?
I can be there at 11:30.
That will work. We will see you at the counter. Shouldn't take you very long. They can also give you information for how to find a course.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Thanks.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
All right, you're good to go.